by saying congratulations on the album. I've had a chance to sit down and take a listen to it, and it's an amazing album, so congratulations.
Oh, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate that. It means a lot.
Now, tell us a little bit about the beginnings of this album, because I understand that this album first started to grow during the lockdowns here in Australia. So tell us a little bit about that start and what you guys talked about with this album.
Yeah, so it pretty much started as a bit of a frustration band, I guess. Just with all the lockdowns and stuff, the guitarist Ben and I just got together to just sort of just do something, because we were kind of in a bit of a void of everything, always being cancelled or postponed, and so much uncertainty. So we just got together and just initially just to jam, but it sort of just evolved into a much bigger thing. We quickly got together 3 or 4 tracks, sent it off to Rob, our vocalist, and pretty much within 5 minutes of giving him a call, he was on board, and Tim was shortly thereafter, he was also on board as well. So it pretty much just spawned from something of just having a jam to this full-on band.
So, as you said, this came together because of you and Ben wanting to jam. How did the rest of the guys come into the band as well? Were they guys that you decided to just reach out to and see what they would say, or were you pretty sure that they would say yes from the start?
Well, when we got the first few tracks down, I sort of had in mind Rob, as his style would really suit. So I called him straight away as my first sort of person in mind and said, hey, just give it a listen and just see if you're up for it. And he was, straight away into it. Similar with Tim, we sent Tim the stuff and he was just like, yeah, this is right up my alley. So pretty much the 2 guys we wanted in the band were totally on board.
So I know you built your own studio so that you'd be able to work from home, but did it make it difficult for you guys to all get together and work because of the lockdowns?
Yeah, it was at the start because there were still lockdowns happening, but towards the end it was a lot easier. We actually started recording the first one on Boxing Day last year.
Yeah.
So initially the band pretty much me and Ben got together, I think it was August, and by September we had the lineup. So we really kind of pushed it along pretty quick. So pretty much it was easy having my own studio to do it, because we didn't have to rely on if something was open or if someone could sort of make it out there or anything. It's all at my house, so that made it really easy.
And how did the songwriting process work for you guys? Like, was there anything that was inspiring you as you were writing, and then how did that process go with you all separated?
Yeah, pretty much the process. Ben writes pretty much the overwhelming majority of the material and sends it around, and then we may jam and tweak maybe how many times we repeat something, or trial and error some stuff. But it was mostly Ben constructing the songs as the lone songwriter, and we all put our individual parts on top. And in terms of getting together, it was, well, for me personally, I found it quite easy because we're all in Melbourne. My last band was all half international members, and that was always a nightmare.
Yeah.
So this was actually pretty easy for me.
So tell us a little bit about the sound. Someone asked me the other day to describe your sound, and I said, well, there's a few different genres in there, but it's also a very, very unique sound. Was that something that you guys talked about when you first sat down, what you wanted the band to sound like?
Yeah, I think basically everyone from the start, we had a pretty good idea of what we were going for. And in particular, the production that we got was very structured, and we definitely knew what we were aiming for, which is more of an organic, honest approach to the production of the music. And obviously with Kurt Bailu mixing, he mixes analog. So it really is has an old school sort of vibe. There's no like editing on all the instruments, quantizing and all that stuff. It's very honest in terms of performances.
Yeah.
So I think that really adds to a unique energy around the album. And we kind of just wanted to go for something, I guess best way to explain it is just less intense than what we'd normally do.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit more on the rock and roll side of things. And I guess me and Ben especially are known for more progressive extreme metal kind of stuff. So it was really, really a refreshing change to approach this record.
That's interesting that you said that a lot of it was done with analog with Kurt as well, because a lot of people have commented on that old school sound. Do you think that's where that sound has been coming from, that work with the analog systems?
Yeah, it definitely adds, especially with how smooth the low end is on certain things. I think working with analog really has a better representation of low end. And our record actually has a lot of low end, especially the bass is quite present in the mix and it has a lot of low end to it. And I think that Kurt really nailed it in what we were going for. He actually blew us all away. I mean, we sent it off for mixing and within about 2 or 3 days, he gave the first mixes back. And we were like, yeah, we definitely picked the right guy. He really nailed it.
So how do you feel now that the album is coming out in, was it just over a week? How do you feel now? Are you nervous or are you excited?
I'm just really excited. It's been 3 years really since I've done any touring or playing, or it's been 5 years since I've released a record actually, like in a band that I'm in that I'm not sessioning in. So I'm really excited to get back into it again and just see what opens up for us. We really want to push for some tours and just getting it out as many places as we possibly can.
Yeah, that was my next question actually. Is that what you're hoping for next year, that you'll be able to get out there and tour both nationally and internationally?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely something that we all want to get back to. Especially just hitting, the European market, I think will be good for us, and obviously getting out to as many cities in Australia as we can. So it's one of those things. I haven't done it for so long. I've sort of almost forgotten what it's like to be out on the road and play consistent shows. It's been 3 years for me.
Has it been Black Lava forming? Has that what's got you through the last few years? Because like you said, you haven't been able to tour, you haven't had an album out for a while. Was it forming this band that got you through the last couple of years?
It definitely towards the end of last year, it definitely reinvigorated some creative energy with me for sure. Everything was just getting so stagnant and in my last band, Neo, we just cancelled tour after tour after tour, and it was just really, really depressing to go through that constantly. And so this was nice to just get something up and going, and because everyone's local in Melbourne, Australia, it was quite easier to go ahead with the things such as the film clips and just getting it all done with the timelines that we set each other, because we did set some pretty brutal and strict timelines and schedules, but we managed to meet them all somehow, so definitely very proud of that.
Now, the name Black Lava, where did that come from? Was that something a name that you'd had written down for a while, or did that come from just you guys talking one night?
Black Lava is a song by the band Satyricon off one of their records called Volcano, and pretty much everyone in the band loves that record, and that track especially really sticks with all of us, so I can't remember how it came about, but we're just like, we should call it Black Lava, and everyone's like, cool, let's do it.
Now, I wanted to talk about the lyrics as well, because of the way the band formed and during that time, you could understand if this was an album where you were talking about what we were all going through during that time with the lockdowns, but there's a kind of fantasy and medieval theme going right through this album. Tell us a little bit about those lyrics and where that decision came from.
Yeah, certainly in terms of the lyrics and themes, that's completely all Rob. He's done a fantastic job visualizing a world really for this band and an image and a vision behind it. And I'm really enjoying the stories and the landscapes he's really painted with his lyrics. And Rob has a lot of input with the video clips as well. So he pretty much came up with a lot of the ideas and plots behind the video clips and the stories. So he's done a really, really great job. And as you said, it really is a fantasy, medieval kind of world that he's created, and it's quite fun to do, especially the video clips. They're a lot of fun to kind of act them out and see how they play out.
And was Rob one of the driving forces behind the album artwork as well? Because I'm looking at that right now, and that looks sensational.
Yeah, I think Ben first initially came to us with the idea of using Paolo, and he's like, man, he's incredible. He's done a lot of stuff now, and he's one of our favourite artists. And we were particularly drawn to Paolo because he does oil on canvas. It's not, digital or anything like that, and that's something that we really enjoy. And his style is just super cool. And we basically just came up with an idea and gave Paolo that idea, and kind of that's what he sent back. We were pretty impressed, actually.
Just jumping back to your last answer as well, the video clips. It sounds like you've been having a little bit of fun with those.
Yeah, it's really I've done video clips before, but not to the extent of what we've done with Black Lava. It's just been, it's really been something completely new to me in terms of spending multiple days on set, being out in the open and vulnerable to the elements, and just trying to capture what we need to capture with the weather that we had. It was quite insane, especially the one in the snow. I got to -7 at one point. That was pretty crazy.
Well, yeah, that's... How do you get through that? Like -7, that must make it very hard to be creative during that period.
Yeah, it was definitely challenging, especially when you got to stop between takes. And I remember my hands were like, I couldn't really feel my hands, and I wasn't sure if I was holding my drumsticks properly or not. So that was extremely challenging, and obviously it affects everyone's mood too when you got to do something over and over and over, and making sure you get the shots. It was quite a test, but we pulled through, and I think the result's really cool. I'm really stoked with Eye of the Moon.
Definitely, it looks spectacular. Well, Dan, to finish off, what would you like to say to people out there who are about to hear the album for the first time?
Yeah, I think people who enjoy, I guess, an old school element with a modern edge will enjoy this record, and it's definitely something different from myself. It's something I've never done before in terms of an original band that I'm in this style. So I hope people approach it with some open ears, and I really hope people enjoy and have fun listening to it.